drowned the noise, mudslinging, allegations and the general chaos that surrounds any Indian election. We're looking at the astonishing election in Maharashtra this evening on NDTV Profit and making sense of what it means for national politics, for the markets, and of course, what it's telling us about voter patterns. The voter has silenced those who scorned at a scheme that put 1,500 rupees in her hand per month. She has opted for politics of dignity, stability, and shown that she is tired of netas switching sides when it suits them. The magnitude of the victory in Maharashtra is a clear answer to those who were ready to switch sides for their own benefit. It has put an end to the debate on which Sena is the real Sena, which NCP is the real NCP, who should have the party founder's legacy, and who is showing the ability to deliver on what the voter wants. Consider this. For the first time, a pre-poll alliance has crossed 200 plus seats in Maharashtra ever. It's the biggest victory for a pre-poll coalition in Maharashtra since 1972. Election Commission trends show the Mahayuti is expected to get close to a 50% vote share. The current figure is 48%. The BJP alone has secured more seats than the MVA combined by far, in fact, nearly 4 times. The BJP is the only party to win 100 plus seats in Maharashtra since 1990. So what does this election mean? Here are the key implications. One, with the magnitude of this win, Maharashtra can now hope for a stable 5-year term. The size of victory will give a reality check to political aspirations of many. Maybe you will have less people wanting to be the chief minister. The Thakres will have to go back to the drawing board to figure out their political future. I'm talking about Uddhav and Raj Thakre, whose vote share of the party is now below 3% at last count. This means he could even lose his election symbol. The debate over who is the real Sena or NCP, of course, now is moot. For Rahul Gandhi and the Congress, it's an embarrassing defeat. I don't know how many times they can keep going back to the drawing board. Cash transfers at women voters will now also become an election stable. Now, while the usual noises will begin on who will be chief minister, etc., the question for today is what is this victory telling us? And I'm going to start the conversation, and we have a whole host of guests. We're going to tell you what the markets are going to do, what it means for national politics. But let me start with Shaina NC. She was the candidate for Gamdevi in Mumbai. Shaina, I would say the battle has not been won for you, but the war definitely has, as far as the result today is concerned.
Yes, you're absolutely right, Tamanna. We have won the war, and that's all that matters. The Mahayuti has created a tsunami of sorts. This is clearly the best mandate that we could have had in generations. 3 times to come back to power in Maharashtra is unprecedented, and I attribute it to the Honorable Chief Minister's Ladki Behan Yojana, which has percolated down to the poorest of poor, where 2.5 crore women have been given 7,500 rupees directly into their banks. This bank transfer is one part of the debate. The second part is, of course, the coordination between Eknath Shinde, Devendra Fadnavis and Ajit Pawar. 2.5 years, the best infrastructure projects, whether it's the Trans-Harbour Link, the metro, the Atal Setu, the Samruddhi Highway, the list is endless. And when you have a Prime Minister that is working for a Viksit Bharat and you have people from across the board supporting, you will only see prosperity in a state.
No, but China, is this, many today are saying that even those who thought the Mahayuti will win, and most polls were saying that the Mahayuti will win, not by this extent though. Many are saying this is all because of the Ladki Behan Yojana. Is this because of a cash handout to women voters at the end of the day? Is that what this boils down to?
Please don't view it as a cash handout, because it's not. It's empowering women. What do women want today? They want economic empowerment when it comes to jobs, livelihood, education, and of course an opportunity to showcase their talent. Now for that you need to have some kind of a remuneration. If you get 1500 rupees, which is now going to be 2100 directly in your bank account, then you have the opportunity to save that and even start a small, like a mehndi class or a teaching process or cooking or anything that you would choose to do from home. So I think it's empowering the lives of women. I wouldn't see it as a ravery, but as a welfare scheme. And yes,
was
it
that
has
the winning
percolated
factor?
down.
Shaina, my question is that what has been responsible for over 230
I'll tell you
seats?
what the winning factor is, Tamanna. I'll tell you what the winning factor is. You have had women who have supported youngsters who have got stipends and internship schemes, farmers who have got direct transfers into their bank accounts. You have, the list is endless, pensions for senior citizens and the Labhartis that have benefited. On the other hand, the Mahavinash Aghadi just chose to have false narratives, the kind of adjectives they have used for people, mal, item, bakri, kutta. I mean, that is not what you fight an election on. You fight an election on a vision plan. There was no vision plan, and because there was no vision plan, the people reposed faith in the most popular Chief Minister, Eknath Shinde, Devendra Fadnavis and Ajit Pawar.
What comes ahead for this government now, Shaina? And you know the question, and I've been seeing you answering this question all morning. But now that we have the magnitude of the numbers, is it clear to say that Devendra Fadnavis is the next Chief Minister?
Well, I won't want to get into any speculation, Tamanna. As you've known, I've never ever overstepped or tried to comment on issues which I'm not meant to. The choice of the Chief Minister is clearly that of the Mahayuti leadership. Obviously, every political party will want their own leader to be the Chief Minister, and that is only right for all parties. But having said that, whatever is the decision for the alliance, it will be in the best interest of Maharashtra.
Shaina, I know you're tired. It's been a long day, but such a
politically
correct answer. Such a politically correct answer on such a big day. Who do you think should be? Who do you think should be the Chief Minister?
I don't have any comment on this. I only have a comment. Whoever is best suited for Maharashtra and how the Mahayuti works in the welfare of the state is all that matters. And yes, it has been a very tiring day. So thank you, Tamanna.
One last question before I let you go. You told us what you think worked for the winning side, which is you. And this is sort of an open shot for you. But what do you think is the one factor that did not work for the losing side? Because they were doing fairly well as far as the Lok Sabha elections are concerned.
I'll tell you.
It seemed touch and go. What do you think
I'll
has been the
tell you,
biggest
every
mistake?
morning to hear Sanjay Raut rant on television, every day for Sanjay Raut to rant on television and for Nana Patole to combat it, and every day to have this tu meme. I mean, everyone challenged the Shiv Sena, Ubata Sena, to even get Congress to say Adarnya Hindu Hriday Samrat Balasaheb Thackeray. They chose to get devoid of their ideology and pandered to vote bank politics, whether it's the Dalits and the Muslims, which is all that they wanted to do. So it was like Qaum ki Rajniti and not Kaam ki Rajniti. And for those who believe that Qaum is more important than Kaam, I would only want to say, please wait and watch what the Mahayuti does in these 5 years. It will transform our state into a Viksit Bharat.
Hope that we don't see as much excitement politically as we saw in the last 5 years, because clearly the mandate is not for that kind of a change again and again. Thank you so much, Shaina NC, for speaking with us. That was the BJP voice, and Shaina NC, of course, the Gamdevi candidate. Shama Mohammed joining us now, spokesperson of the Congress. Shama, thank you so much for giving us your time. I'm sure it's been a tough day. You know, polls showed perhaps the Mahayuti would be ahead. Many of them called it a close fight. Are you surprised? Is your party surprised by the size of the defeat?
Tamanna, I'm not surprised, I'm shocked. See, I was also in Maharashtra I mean, you can see, I was watching all these rallies of Uddhav ji, Sharad Pawar ji, our own Patel ji, and Toraj ji, all of them. There were a lot of people. There was a lot of farmer distress with the price of the MSP of soya bean, farmer suicides. Youth were upset because there was joblessness. The GDP from last year of 10.5 was now around 5.5. Women's security, women issues, the price rise, of all things because GST is put on everything, and also industry shifting to Gujarat. They were all big issues. But I must say that we did very badly, and I'm very very shocked because see, even you as a journalist, I've spoken to many journalists, many leaders, many people. They all told me it's a close election.
Yeah.
Again, Haryana is told that we are winning. So my thought process is, if it's a close election, I wouldn't have an issue if it was a 150, but this is a landslide. So there is something very...
No, no, Shama, so which is my follow-up question. All the issues that you mentioned are very real issues. It's not like those issues have gone away after the election results today. But what has become very clear is that the voters of the state are not trusting the Maha Vikas Aghadi to fix those issues. They feel that those issues are there, but if anyone will fix them, it's the incumbent.
I don't agree on that. See, there's one.
I mean, that's what the election result shows.
No, I'm just going to tell you what my perspective is. Okay, you can say that I'm just not agreeing, because let me tell you that it just cannot change so much from the 2024 Lok Sabha to now. You have to understand that. The Election Commission definitely played a very important role. In 2019, in October, we had both Haryana and Maharashtra. This time when we asked them, they said, no, there is Jammu and Kashmir, so we are putting Jammu and Kashmir and Haryana together, and this will be done later. The question which arises is, when a country and the Prime Minister of this country is asking for one nation, one poll, what about the security issues then? The reason they gave was security issues, and the other one was festivals. The festival calendar, we have it from the beginning of the year. So what happened? They started the Ladli Behna scheme around 3 to 4 months back, and that was continuing. See, if that had been stopped, I'm telling you, there wouldn't be this sort of victory, because it is not like Devendra Fadnavis said, "Ek hai to safe hai." A more
Shama,
polarizing...
I'm telling you, even as we're looking at this election, just Ladli Behna will be a 48% vote share for the three members of the Mahayuti combined?
No, you're not letting me finish the point. Let me finish my point. In Jharkhand, which they said is a close election, or Bharatiya Janata Party is winning it for sure, there is also a landslide there. And this Ek Hai to Safe Hai, which Mr. Fadnavis said worked here, did not work there. There was Guspetiya morning, noon was Guspetiya, and Raat was Guspetiya. And you remember the despicable ad at the end where Muslims are entering a middle class.
So which is what I'm saying. Shama, I can understand today you want to talk about Jharkhand, and yes, the UPA has won. The UPA has won in Jharkhand. My point is that there's the disconnect between issues, messaging, and what the opposition is giving out to the voters as a message.
No, I'm talking about Maharashtra. What I'm trying to tell you is not Ladli Behna, it's also the caste equations which has been played by them. We did not get into that very much as we should have when we gave the tickets. That is the other thing. You have to understand, there are these two things. I'm not saying solely Ladli Behna, it cannot be, it's impossible. That's what we're all trying to see. What can it be? But I must say, the Election Commission played a big role. Hello?
No, by doing what now? You know, this is, Shama, this is what puts people off, that whenever there is a loss, then the Congress comes and says, Election Commission played a big role, but in Jharkhand they didn't.
Definitely engaged. I'm not saying anything about the machines. I didn't say one word, please. I'm trying to say that there is definitely, we have lost. Yeah. I'm not saying we have won. I am agreeing we have lost. It's a terrible loss in Maharashtra. I am not going to be...
leaders have to take responsibility and figure out that were they just targeting individuals and not really talking to voters and what they need. But, you know, that's... Thank you so much, Shama, for speaking with us and being candid about the fact that you are shocked. It is a big defeat. Yes, the UPA has won in Jharkhand, but I don't know how much of a solace is going to be because of the extent of this victory. To get more insight on that, we're joined by Vinay Sahasrabudhe, ex-National VP of the BJP. We're also speaking with Manish Dangi of Mosaic Asset Management and Tejas Mehta, political journalist, Mihir Vora, CIO of Trust Mutual Fund also joining us on the conversation. So we have an interesting mix of people and different points of view that we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to spend a couple of minutes on what the market will react with, if that's okay, Vinay ji and Tejas, because we've had a bit of the political conversation, but maybe markets had a sense of what was coming on Friday, because after being in the doldrums for most of the week, there was a roaring comeback. I'm going to start, Manish, with your view. Do you think at least this win, only for Monday, I'm not saying the market woes go away, is going to see a huge salute from the markets?
Hi, Tamanna. It's true. I mean, it's a sentimentally sort of market, of course, likes the incumbents NDA regime per se, and therefore it's a good news. But just a small point here that, after 4th June, politics started to look like will be one variable for markets. After Haryana elections, the role of politics came down quite sharply, and I think it's a business as usual now. I think we can think of as if the political regime in India was existent as it was before 4th of June. So to that extent, at least for next couple of 1 or 2 years, at least, the role of politics in markets would actually subside or would be in some sense irrelevant, I would say. But yes, if you're sort of very specific on Monday, it is, of course, a celebratory.
Manish, everyone keeps saying markets see elections as an irrelevant subject, but then you look at what happens on 4th June when and how the responses to the exit polls. You see what happens on the Haryana result day at about between 10 and 10:30 when the election starts moving out. And from the Maharashtra perspective, the fact that now you can hope for one stable government for 5 years, which you have not seen in Maharashtra, important state in terms of an economic engine, will that at the end of it also be a big driver?
No, I don't consider politics as irrelevant for markets. I only think that if you are in a business as usual situation, it in some sense is irrelevant. So 4th June actually shook the market that it potentially would have a more turbulent weather as far as Delhi politics is concerned. After Haryana, of course, you can imagine, you could begin to think that no, it's business as usual. But after Maharashtra, it's pretty much certain that next 2-3 years, the Modi 3.0 would very much look like Modi 2.0 or 1.0. So to that extent, I am saying that it's irrelevant. I'm not saying that politics is irrelevant. Of course, it's a very, very important part of market metric.
Mihir, I just want a quick view from you on whether this is the kind of push we were looking for. And do you see on Monday some of the large caps? There's an interesting note out from Motilal Oswal this evening after the elections, and we'll play some of those pointers for you on the screen as well. But they say mid and small caps are still looking overvalued. Large caps are looking ripe for the picking. And they, of course, have their top picks, etc. But do you think that you're going to see this as the mood changer that the markets were desperately waiting for?
Certainly, and you got a whiff of that on Friday, where we did see a sharp movement. I think the markets were trying to at least play safe and cover some of the shorts. I think FIIs are big time short, as you can see in the FNO data. So there will be another round of short covering definitely happening in the markets on Monday. Domestic institutions have anyway been buyers, so that support will continue to the market. And I would kind of say that I'm not in total sync with the fact that large caps offer better value because we have been meeting a lot of companies, and if you see the earnings upgrade downgrades, it's pretty much in global commodity linked sectors, in the IT majors, etc., where there is a larger representation in the Nifty, but a lot of the exciting stuff which is domestic linked in nature, a lot of stuff which is triggered or helped by the government policies, that is in the mid and small caps. So I think we should see a broad-based rally, not only linked to large caps.
Would you go out and buy on Monday, Mihir? Because you're saying the FIs will short once again, so you will have another tussle between bulls and bears. Will you go out and buy on Monday?
We have anyway been buying because we have cash, so that will be business as usual for us. And the FIs have been selling a lot, and hopefully this will, kind of reduce the level of selling. We did see some slowdown in the last 3-4 days. So if that turns into a positive, which we saw in the futures market on Friday, while cash market was still a negative number for the FIs, in the futures market there was net buying by FIs and decent amount of buying. So if that futures covering or buying in the futures is matched or is kind of supplemented by cash market buying by FIs, then we can have a more sustainable rally.
Okay, get ready for big short covering on Monday. We'll continue that conversation, but I'm just going to go to a quick live report. My colleague Jitendra Dikshit is live at the BJP headquarters in Mumbai. Jitu, glad to speak to you today. We did a show together for NDTV India where everyone was saying कि बहुत close call है. I mean, this is so far from a close call. I don't know whether to call it a tsunami, a tide, a wave, a storm. We're running out of adjectives.
Exactly, I travelled across Maharashtra, and what I felt was that it will be a neck-to-neck fight, and Mahayuti was having a slight edge. But we never expected, we never anticipated that this kind of result will be coming out in favor of Mahayuti. So now we have Mahayuti with BJP emerging as the single largest party, and for next 5 years, there will be a very stable government in Maharashtra. So if you ask me what are the main reasons for this clean sweep by Mahayuti, so what I believe is the biggest factor has been the Ladki Behna Yojana. The impact of Ladki Behna Yojana has been felt not only in rural areas but also in slum pockets of urban areas also, in cities also. So that is one thing. Secondly, the farmers' crisis, which was a big issue during Lok Sabha polls, this time it did not make any impact because most of the grievances of farmers of northern Maharashtra and Vidarbha were addressed by the government. Certain decisions were taken. So that is one thing. Thirdly, politics of polarization. I think slogans like बटेंगे तो कटेंगे and एक है तो safe है, vote jihad, all such slogans have worked in favor of BJP, and this has also contributed to Mahayuti's victory. Then another factor is that rebels have damaged more to Mahavikas Aghadi, although there were rebel candidates from both the coalitions. But in case of Mahavikas Aghadi, the damage
Jitendra Dikshit, Jitu, I think the big question right now, and you're standing at the BJP headquarters, is it now clear that Devendra Fadnavis is the next chief minister, or is there going to be a bit of a problem with Eknath Shinde making that claim? We've already heard murmurs, and even Ajit Pawar.
See, there are two aspects in this, Tamanna, in your question. Firstly, BJP is the claimant to Chief Minister's seat because it has emerged as the single largest party, and BJP is likely to claim the seat. If the seat goes to BJP, which is quite likely, then Devendra Fadnavis is the top contender for the seat. But if the BJP top leadership decides to select a chief ministerial candidate on the pattern of Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh, then we can have some surprise name also thrown up. So that we don't know, that will be clear by tomorrow evening. That is one thing. Secondly, you have asked about Shinde's claim. So the leaders of Shinde Sena are saying that Eknath Shinde was face of the government, and BJP came to power in June 2022 because of Eknath Shinde, and that is why this victory has been possible. So Eknath Shinde should be repeated as the chief minister. So now there is dispute between the BJP and Eknath Shinde's Shiv Sena for chief minister's post. Ajit Pawar's party has made no claim for the chief ministerial candidate, although leaders of Ajit Pawar's party have displayed banners and posters across the city, also in Baramati and few other areas.
From his family members. I saw a quote from his family members saying, will he be, he should be chief minister. But maybe during the election vote counting, a lot of kite flying happens. When the dust settles, then there's a clear picture. Thank you so much for that. Jitendra Dikshit there reporting from the BJP Mumbai headquarters. It's going to be an exciting evening coming ahead. We can hope to hear from Prime Minister Modi as well. That will be one address to look out for, because this is giving us a very clear picture of what's happening at the national stage. Vinay Sahasrabudhe, ex-national VP of BJP, with us. Vinay ji, Haryana bolstered it, that the BJP is in a very strong position nationally, because that question came into play after the Lok Sabha elections. Maharashtra has sealed the deal.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Haryana election results definitely bolstered our confidence, and it, in a way, invigorated our party cadre. They were kind of proactively mobilized But I would say that you just cannot pinpoint only Haryana as the factor behind this landslide victory of the BJP. There are at least 5 more factors, if I may analyze them. Number one is BJP's commitment to the coalition dharma, which has definitely played a very, very important role so that we could keep all our partners together. And there was kind of a integration also at the organizational level or at the grassroots level. Then, of course, the call of the Honorable Prime Minister for women-led development. What Ladki Bahin has done is basically given a sense of empowerment to the women, because that definitely has enhanced their stature within their families also, as well as in the society, because they have now something which they did not seek permission of the male members of the family to spend about. Third one is, of course, the ease of living through various mega infra projects that are taking shape all over the Maharashtra, especially in the urban areas. And lastly, Ek Hai To Safe Hai. And this applies not only to the societal issues, but also to the coalition. Every partner of the coalition did realize that if we remain united, then only our success could be secured. So I believe we should be crediting all these, the entire success to all these factors.
Okay, Manish Dangi, just one point from you on, and you're one of the few people who's very open in saying that yes, politics matter to markets as well. From the national picture, Haryana and now Maharashtra, important state, do you think that this will also give a signal to FIIs? You might see some change in the kind of FII outflows going. What is the impact here from a little longer term, beyond Monday, for markets?
I think FIs are looking at through the lens of US dollar, which has been strengthening, especially in the run-up to the elections in US and thereafter, of course. Dollar is very, very strong. Also, bear this fact that, US earnings have been stupendous, actually. They've surprised markets even last quarter, versus India's earnings have been sort of somewhat dimmer and softer than even markets' expectations. Earning for this year actually has been brought down. Expectations have been brought down by about 3-4%. So it's a mix of cyclical slowdown plus dollars strong plus US markets doing very well is the reason why FIs have been moving out. But as a matter of fact, there is almost like a 10% underperformance of India versus US in last 3 months. I guess, all of the bad news, particularly to do with the corporate performance is coming. So at margin over next 3-6 months, if you were to sort of think of markets, I think it would correlate very well with how US markets do. That's how I would think of it. Would FI sort of come back in a horse? They're exiting all emerging markets, and I'm not sure Maharashtra election could be a reason why, FIs actually come back to India.
Mihir, in your view, once the euphoria and excitement about Maharashtra elections eases, maybe Monday or Tuesday, maybe for just first half of Monday, we don't know how it will go. Do you think then other concerns that have been plaguing the market come back to the surface? Worries about corporate results, worries about not so much about valuations, but on whether earnings are matching up to expectations?
Certainly. So, Manish, I think summarized it quite well. The dollar strength is one of the key reasons why we are seeing outflows. My guess is that a lot of this Trump trade, the dollar strength is because of the Trump trade. A lot of it probably will already be, in the markets in the next few weeks. Typically, what we have seen is that December is a dull month. So we are already towards the end of November. So a lot of the dollar strength and the Trump trade benefits that the US is expected to get is already being factored in. So probably we have seen the worst of FII selling already past us. And as I mentioned, over the last few days, we have seen the selling recede. One more factor that we have kind of observed is that government spending in the first 6 months of the year has been quite weak, and that happens typically in an election year. There has been a pattern around it where decision making slows down, and now we are expecting that the government spending, there's a lot of pent up spending to be done if you want to meet the budget estimates, that should accelerate in the second half. So that should give a good fillip to the economy. And if we
Mihir, what are the stocks or the companies that will benefit from accelerated government spending in the second half? What are the sectors?
we'll be looking at all the infrastructure, real estate, construction, the defense, the railways, the themes that we have been liking typically, which have been supported by the government, focus. That those should continue to benefit.
Okay, so watch out for those sectors on Monday. We're going to take a very short break, but when we come back on the other side, we speak to a pollster who, despite all of the flack he's been getting, had predicted 178 to 200 seats for the Mahayuti. Even that has fallen short of what has actually happened, but he's been close enough. Pradeep Gupta speaking with us on the other side of this break. But as we get into the break, listening to key voices coming in from Devendra Fadnavis, from Eknath Shinde, and of course Ajit Pawar, the Winners Club, speaking about what this victory has meant.
मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि एक प्रकार से लोगों ने अपना मैंडेट दे दिया, लोगों ने एकनाथ शिंदे जी को रियल शिवसेना के रूप में स्वीकार कर लिया है। बाला साहब ठाकरे के हिंदू हृदय सम्राट शिवसेना प्रमुख बाला साहब ठाकरे की जो शिवसेना है, उसकी लेजिटिमेसी ये एकनाथ शिंदे जी को मिली है, और जो मूल एनसीपी है उसकी लेजिटिमेसी अजित पवार जी को मिली है।
अभी यहाँ पर पूरे आंकड़े आने दो, उसके बाद हम तीनों पार्टी बैठेंगे, वरिष्ठों से चर्चा होगा, उसके बाद जो भी होगा समन्वय से होगा।
ईवीएमचा निर्णय मान्य आहे, मान्य आहे, मान्य आहे।
RP Sanjeev Goenka Group presents NDTV Indian of the Year, powered by Raymond, co-powered by Gallant.
When the whole day passes like a blur, the news just whizzes past, and you're trying to stay informed. It is our job to bring you news that truly matters. At Profit 360, we cut through the clutter, the Lal Street deals, finance and policy news that could shape your tomorrow. The newsmakers, the trendsetters, and the innovators. In 30 minutes, we've got you covered. So stay ahead, stay informed, and stay profitable with Profit 360.
Headlines you start your day with. What matters worldwide is now in the palm of your hands. Get ready to seize the day and maximize your financial potential. Stay ahead of the curve with all you need to know on NDTV Profit.
Listen to the voices of reason as they talk about corporate health and investing principles with me, Neeraj Shah, on my show, Talking Point.
Bro, what are you doing?
I'm trading FNOs.
So, have you made any money?
Oh, it's simple. If you think the market is moving upwards, just buy Nifty call option. But if you think the market could slide downwards,
simplifying futures and options trading.
Don't worry about the future.
We've got your options covered.
Futures and options strategy that will help you move with the tide.
An unmissable trade.
If you want to be in the money.
it's been a Maha victory and unbelievable, really, historic in many senses. The Mahayuti, which is the NDA essentially in Maharashtra, has crossed the 230 mark. And even as last rounds are being counted, there is no doubt that the magnitude of the victory is telling you a very clear choice that voters made. This comes after 5 years of so much uncertainty within Maharashtra, parties switching sides, then parties splitting. You have an uncle and nephew fighting against each other, cousins fighting against each other, a former chief and deputy fighting against each other. It's been very, very difficult. What you're seeing on your screen right now is live pictures from the BJP headquarters in Delhi, where top leaders are arriving. Prime Minister Modi expected to speak there in just some time. But let's listen in to what NDTV Editor-in-Chief Sanjay Pugalia is saying while explaining the reasons for a sweep by the Mahayuti.
आप ये सोचें कि शतरंज की जितनी चाल इन्होंने खेली और जब खेली पिछले 2 साल में या 5 साल में महाराष्ट्र की राजनीति को कैसे डोमिनेट करना है या कैसे जीत के लाना है, उसमें उनकी हर चाल, हर स्ट्रेटजी और हर टैक्टिक्स कामयाब हुई है। शिंदे को तोड़ करके लाना, अजित पवार को साथ में लाना, शिंदे को प्राइमेसी देना और उसके बाद ऐसे मुद्दे गढ़ना जिसमें एक तरफ विकास और दूसरी तरफ उससे भी बड़ा महिला वोट बैंक, ये जो था उन्होंने इनके लिए कमाल किया है। इस तरह की विजय की तो बीजेपी को खुद को भी उम्मीद नहीं थी, ये बात मैं आपको बता सकता हूं। तो इस चुनाव का जो सबसे बड़ा आउटकम है वो ये है कि लोकसभा चुनाव महाराष्ट्र के मामले में एक एबरेशन था। वो आप पाएंगे कि इस बार सभी वर्गों के, हम लोग कह रहे थे कि पिछड़े वोट मिलेंगे क्या, दलित वोट मिलेंगे क्या, हिंदू दलित वोट संविधान के नाम पर चले गए थे, उसका क्या होगा, वो सब वापस आते हुए दिखलाई पड़ रहे हैं।
We're speaking now with Pradeep Gupta, is Chairman and Managing Director at Access My India. Pradeep, great to have you on, and an opportunity for you to smile at a time when it's been really tough for pollsters. But I'm not going to ask you to break into a jig or anything, but I think it's interesting. It's interesting to see what your survey found in context of the extent of the elections. I'm saying you got it right, but your maximum number was 200. Which 48 hours ago may have seemed a little optimistic. Now it's seeming like you underestimated the extent of the victory.
That's true, Tamanna ji, that's true. It's all, from as far as Access My India goes, full credit to my team who works very hard on the field and in the back office here in Bombay. So again, congratulations to them and big thank you to my team, from my side. Now coming to what happened is actually in both the state, incumbent government is coming into power, meaning they are repeating the government, and government quite often than not repeats only on one account, which is the delivery. Nothing else.
So now, let's get into a bit of detail on this. When you say delivery, are you talking about the Ladki Behan Yojana? Because everyone is boiling this down to one scheme. And it seems like we're missing the point if we say that this extent of a historic win is because of one scheme.
Not exactly in any win or loss has multiple reasons or the causes to it. But yes, why we and people are talking about Ladki Behan Yojana, because this is something which touch across the board, in the sense across the demography, across the geography. It touches each and every individual household in the family. I'm talking about the 80 to 90% of the people who lives less than $100 a month. So this is something which touch across. That's the reason why people are speaking about it. And this is the delivery, in fact, in the form of maybe sometime in the form of direct cash. But the other side of it, see, government has to do only two things. One is the tax collection, which is the, in your NDTV Profit language, the revenue. And second is the expenditure, which is various infrastructure thing and social welfare schemes or measures. So when it comes to social welfare, see, direct money transfer, meaning one biggest advantage on the government part is it minimize or eliminate the leakages to zero, almost 0 or 1%.
No, Pradeep, because in your survey, you've had the opportunity to speak to, of course, your team has had an opportunity to speak to a lot of people. When you look at the outcome of the survey and in context of this, Uddhav Thackeray doesn't seem to be as weak as he is looking today.
No, see, it very much likely to see. I mean, in our survey, let me tell you. Now, coming to the Uddhav Thackeray and Shinde, the Sena, in our survey, we asked whom you have voted in 2019 election, which we always ask. Whoever has said the Shiv Sena, and next question is whom you have voted in this election. They say whatever they say. For Shinde, for Shiv Sena, 58% people this time voted to Shinde Sena and 36 voted to Uddhav Sena. This was the straightforward comparison between two Sena fractions. So in that sense, but when Sena or any party is winning, there are other two parties who has the contribution in the UT, which is the NCP Ajit Pawar vote is also there and BJP substantial vote is also there. So winning and losing is something different, and particularly how united Shiv Sena votes are splitting into two fractions, which is I put forward to you.
No, very interesting, breakup of numbers that we've seen is also giving us a trend. And Mihir, a little beyond just the markets, but look at the trend we've been seeing, and not just in India, the world over, where voters are making their mind up very, very clearly. You're seeing a one-way vote. If I look at the last election we've all been talking about, then it would be the US elections, of course not in the Indian context. But again, a win that most people did not predict, and the extent of it that most people did not predict. Is it giving us a sense that voters now want delivery?
I'm not too sure because the issues were quite complex, and the dynamics of the two split factions of the two parties were also very complicated. Only thing I have seen is that in the past few elections in various states, there has been a streak of supporting the lower income categories because of rural stress. You can call it populism or you can call it support to the weaker sections. But I think the Ladki Bahan, Yodha, etc. also seem to have played a good amount of role in this. So I would say that if, with the results in Haryana and Maharashtra, if the government gets back the confidence of pushing through some of the harder decisions over the next 5 years, then it's a very good outcome for the economy and the markets. We may see continuation of some of the populist policies.
You know, I'm just wondering, for going ahead, and obviously the election cycle is just starting, for going ahead, what is the kind of outlook it's giving? And I'm going to ask you as a second question, because it seems clear that you need one big scheme which puts money directly in the account of voters. And in most states, there is right now a scheme which is focusing on women voters, on youth, and as good as it is to have a stable government, the fact is it's not great for the economy of any state. Is that now a concern, that what we call as, populist schemes will take center stage?
That's what I said. They've already taken center stage. Only thing is they don't work beyond points. So that's the silver lining. And the focus will now obviously be back to development, job creation, because ultimately people do want permanent jobs. They don't want freebies. That's a temporary solution, and people understand that. So as I was saying, if we are able to push to some of the tougher decisions and make ease of business better for India and attract huge FDI. And most importantly, the private sector capex, which is just about picking up slowly, but we needed to go up by much more exponential amounts to create the kind of jobs that are required. So all the I think ingredients are in place. There was concern after the June elections, after the June results, that some of the tougher decisions may not be taken. But I think after the Haryana and Maharashtra elections, those concerns will be in the background. And that's probably the reason why we saw the markets welcoming or discounting some of the positives of the outcome on Friday.
The markets have discounted some of the positive outcome. This extent of a positive outcome was not seen by anyone. Tejas Mehta with us. Tejas, I think no one has had this figure in mind. 236 for the Mahayuti and the BJP in a very strong position. My first question to you, does this make it very difficult right now for an Eknath Shinde and an Ajit Pawar to demand anything?
Thank you, Tamanna. I'm finally able to join in. Yes, I think, there is a precedent set by the BJP itself, given the fact that what happened in 2019 to 24, there have been several chief ministers, several deputy chief ministers, and at the end of the day, everybody wants to be the chief minister of Maharashtra. I think there is no, it's a position which is, top 4 or 5 ministries in Delhi. I think the chief minister's post in Maharashtra is a top post every chief minister in Maharashtra wants. So there have been politicians who have given up their post in Delhi to just be in Maharashtra. That's how important this state is, not just for the economy, but also the political economy in a way. So, but yes, the earlier, you're talking to Shaina NC and asking her the same question. She would realize at the end of the day, she's a loaned MLA from the BJP. The Eknath Shinde camp did not even have that many, MLAs to really contest in that sense. So they have had to, borrow from the BJP. So they do understand at the end of the day, this is a victory largely of the BJP, the Prime Minister, of course, Devendra Fadnavis, and Eknath Shinde himself, because he has been a chief minister who has been able to relate with people, seen as the common man. So all these factors have played in, but certainly everybody has been pointed out, the welfare schemes for women, Ladli Behna, has certainly played a huge part. And let's not forget, it's not just the women that this influences. At the end of the day, this is going to homes, and there are men
money
there,
comes
there are
into
husbands,
the house.
wives, brothers.
You're right. Money comes into the house, and as much as one section of society looks down upon it and says, okay, you bribed the voter in a sense, or you just gave them some money and so they voted for you. It's much more deeper than that.
Right. The larger point I was making is that it has, it's not just women saying, oh, now I'll vote for Eknath Shinde and the BJP. It's also the men saying, okay, great, you're bringing in money. So the influence of that vote is actually much more. It's intangible. You really can't count it. And we'll have to see if it is also cut across caste lines, party lines, not caste or party lines, caste lines, especially regions line, especially in Marathwada and Vidarbha, the BJP has seen many reverses. So it has cut across, all those regions where they did poorly in the 2000 in the Lok Sabha elections. We'll have to see even how Muslims have voted differently or not, given that this would have benefited them also.
Actually, I want to ask Pradeep that, obviously there'll be some time before you get all the data and you slice and dice that, but few things that we know. 6% increase in the number of women voters in 2024 versus 2019, which is why it's all being put down to Ladli Behna Yojana. But the fact is that women voters have been a strong voice across the last few elections. What is the number crunching and the kind of contest showing you right now, Pradeep? Is it safe to say or fair to say right now that this is the best ever performance of the BJP? Who are the top gainers and losers as far as your assessment is concerned?
All three are the big gainers in case of Mahayuti, the BJP, the Shiv Sena have a newly formed party in that sense, and Ajit Pawar's NCP. But for BJP, it is the biggest ever. For the BJP, it is the biggest. See the strike rate. They are winning about 133 seats after contesting 149 seats, winning 90% the strike rate. This is something never happened. This is something never happened, in Indian politics for that matter, for BJP. Congress have won many times. Aam Aadmi Party has won in Delhi, but this is something very big. So biggest gainer is, of course, the BJP, not a single % doubt onto that. And when we were talking about in our survey and the exit poll this time, 4% women were voting more in favor of Mahayuti than the male member, for 50 to 46. And the actual vote share now coming to 50% only for the Mahayuti itself. So this was the case. And the other demography, which is the Dalit and Adivasi, which has gone away during the last Lok Sabha election, has come back. So there is a substantial gain on account of BJP, particularly in Vidarbha and Marathwada, among these two demography, and of course the Marathas as well. So all put together, everybody is winner, and now this is the 80% strike rate as far as the number of seats are concerned. Out of 288 seats, 230 odd seats.
You're seeing live pictures there from the BJP headquarters, Home Minister Amit Shah walking in, and obviously this is going to be a grand victory for him. He is known as the master of the election machinery, and definitely the team has pulled off one here. But you know, I just wanted to understand what has happened now to the vote share also of the Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray and Sharad Pawar. And is there any indication right now, Pradeep, that is it a consolidation of the Hindu vote, or is this much more deeper, what we have seen today?
No, Tamanna ji, let me tell you, these 232 seats or the leads was there in 2019 election in favor of NDA, that time BJP and Shiv Sena combined, 232 with 52% vote share. In 14 election, this figure was 227. So this is something not new. What had happened this time, these small party or the independents has won as many as 25 seats in last assembly election of Maharashtra. This time their number is reduced to 6, meaning that's what when people decide, they decide and give the decisive mandate. बोलते ना सारे घर के बदल डालो. It's like this. Many stalwarts in their own regions in Bombay, you know, when you go to, you know, that Vasai and Nala Supara, where BVA, Hiten Bhai Thakur and his son, Bittu Thakur, the Chitesh Thakur, they've been winning for Hiten Bhai, this is 7 times. And Bittu is winning 3 times, he has won three occasions. So like this, many regional satraps has defeated.
Yeah.
And this is turning out to be the big win for the BJP, not the Hindu. Please understand, there is nothing called Hindu-Muslim when it comes to voting, and people vote. See, it's a tangible thing. You are from the financial world. लोग वोट देने के समय यही देखते, 80% of the voter turnout, 100% vote cast, 80%, their livelihood directly or indirectly depend on the government of the day. So when they elect and select any party, a leader for that matter, very carefully they elect and select the leader. They see the tangible benefit onto their account, how their life has changed, what kind of ease and comfort has come to.
Absolutely. What did I get from?
Absolutely.
What did I get from them, and who is going to fulfill my needs? I just want to play a quote out from Uddhav Thackeray before I go to Tejas Mehta for his comment on this. And he says that he's actually in denial because he's saying that I cannot believe that a state which treated me like a father during COVID has meted out this treatment or given me this kind of a treatment. There's actually a denial. He's saying that I can't understand what changed in 4 months. And that's the problem, isn't it? That they were so confident, the Maha Vikas Aghadi was so confident after the Lok Sabha election trends. Is that one of the reasons that they sort of let go?
I think so. I mean, did you even see a proper alternative to what the BJP and the allies were, offering the people? They came up with something so late in the day that it didn't really make an impact. Also, I mean, to just say that, oh, your welfare scheme is bad, but the one I am doing in Karnataka is excellent, I mean, it doesn't make sense. So instead of trying and, talking about how this welfare scheme is bad, what are you positively offering? That really didn't come up. I mean, they should have, this was their election for the taking. If you just see the Lok Sabha election, the MVA had 153 votes if you extrapolate, the assembly segments. And the Mahayuti had 126. This is a jump by more than 100 seats for the Mahayuti, and the Congress plus allies have come down by 100. I mean, I have never ever seen something like this. And I do believe that now when we talk about Uddhav Thackeray and the of Sharad Pawar. I think as far as Sharad Pawar as he's concerned, he has to pass on the baton. I think it's almost game over for him. As far as Uddhav Thackeray is concerned, I think Eknath Shinde, for now, he has got the crown and the legacy of the Shiv Sena, at least for the next 5 years, or at least for the time being. Anything can change in between, but for the next 5 years, he will wear that crown. And that debate, I think, has been settled today. And it is really shocking because, at the end of the day, this is the scion of Balasaheb Thackeray, his own son. And he did withstand many other things. Remember, when his father passed away, people said, party gayi.
Yeah.
When, Raj Thackeray formed Manse, they said, party gayi, Manse will take over everything. But he withstood all of that, probably because the BJP also was backing him.
Yeah,
Now, with this whole ideological dilution, and that's what really hurts many of the Shiv Senics, that this ideological dilution is something that has not been digested well. He'll always have supporters, but the big game, the big players have all moved out to
I
the
think one other point is that this is the extent of the mandate is also, if you hear what the voters are trying to say, the message is that we don't want this uncertainty about who's running the government, and we want a stable 5-year term. Now, we don't know how that will pan out, but Mihi, do you think that also becomes a very important factor to watch? Who is the chief minister, and do they stay the chief minister for the next 5 years?
I think the mandate is very clear. I don't see any instability, frankly, which is good. Maharashtra is the largest economical state in the country, and we have so many of these large ticket infrastructure projects going on, Dharavi redevelopment, etc. going on. So if those are unleashed and continue at the pace which is expected, it's good for the country. I don't really see too much of instability.
In fact, I just, as we wrap the conversation, I just want to play out this comment that Devendra Fadnavis gave us. He was speaking to Sanjay Pugalia, editor-in-chief at NDTV Network, at the NDTV Marathi Election Summit on October 27th, where the question to him was that, is it a problem if people are considering him as the CM? Listen into that interaction.
एक लाइटर मोड पे कह देता हूँ कि आपने जब इंट्रोडक्शन किया उस समय कहा कि देवेंद्र जी, लोग आपको मुख्यमंत्री समझते हैं, ये समस्या है। ये समस्या नहीं, ये समाधान है। इसका मतलब मैं बनने वालों ऐसा नहीं कह रहा हूँ, सिर्फ उसको समस्या मत मानिए, इतने बोलना चाहता हूँ बस। थैंक यू।
Will those be prophetic words? Now that the numbers are in, that's what we'll have to wait and watch. But for now, it's going to be, definitely a positive for markets on Monday. And at the end of the day, no matter how you voted and what you think of the outcome, a stable government in Maharashtra is something which everyone will definitely hope for. Thank you so much to all of you for joining us on the show on NDTV Profit. We'll wrap it here, but of course, all the action continues on the other side.